Chip Kelly hiring. Best hiring yet.
Well, that we can't argue with.
There you go.
But I think the real question to it is, does this change the concept of Michael Vick staying in Philadelphia? Because Vick, based on what you've seen, the offense is ran by Chip Kelly in Oregon. That athletic threat to run quarterback is what he looks for. So
Yeah, it's all speculation right now. You don't know until he gets in and he evaluates the players that he has and decides in the direction. So, I mean, right now we can sit here, but it's all just going to be speculation.
I mean, I'll say this about Philadelphia.
seriously.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
We don't want to speculate on things, people.
All right, on things that we don't need to speculate on, I will say that I think the big problem with Philadelphia right now, I mean, whoever the quarterback is, it'll either be Michael Vick or Nick Foles. That's an adequate quarterback right there at the worst. You have one of the best running backs in football in McCoy. You have one of the better wide receiving cores in the league with Deshaun Jackson, with Jeremy Maclin, Jason Avant, and Brent Selleck. The problem with Philadelphia will always be that offensive line. If that doesn't change, that offense is going to go nowhere like you saw this year. They also got some issues on defense. But my big thing, I know Chip Kelly has had a lot of success with his offense at Oregon. I know his Oregon offense has actually been introduced in a lot of schemes that New England runs. I know Belichick visited him last year and got some ideas for some plays. But I just really wonder. I always think that first-time college coaches coming to the pros tend not to work out. I mean, you look at the ones that have come to the pros from the college ranks over the last couple of years. The only ones that have really worked out, in my eyes, are the Pete Carrolls and the Jim Harbaughs. Carroll, obviously, he was an NFL guy for a long time. Then he went to college at USC, and then he came back. He kind of fell on his butt the first couple times when he was with New England and the Jets, though. So he needed to go back, and he needed to fail a little bit before he could, succeed. And as far as Jim Harbaugh, I mean, he was always a tough guy, at least as a quarterback when he was in Indy. I don't know if you guys remember him as a quarterback, but he was very good. He was a gamer until the end, and I just feel that attitude, along with the success he had at Stanford, kind of propelled him to the Niners. But other than that, I just really wonder how first-time college coaches are going to hold up. So we'll see about Kelly. But I think a lot of it's going to be on how he can improve the offensive line.
Well, I mean, there's no arguing that Philly's biggest weakness was their offensive line. But Chip Kelly only has really 4 years of serious college coaching experience anyway. He did his 4 years in Oregon, and then I was at, Washington State, I believe. I'm not 100% sure on where he was beforehand. But, I mean, he went nuts in Oregon, but he had a program that brings in recruits and students and talent, and obviously he did his share to help that program. But, I mean, in 4 years, he goes 46-7, makes 4 bowl games, wins 3 conference championships, lost his only shot at the national championship to Cam Newton and Auburn. But I've always been hesitant with the college coach thing myself coming to the NFL. But if they're giving him the kind of control they gave Andy Reid, I think that's what college coaches need. Me and Erich actually touched on this yesterday about the fact that college coaches, what makes them so important to their program in college is that they do the recruiting, they sell the school, the football program, they sell all of that to the player. When you go to the NFL, you draft a guy. You don't have to sell nothing to him. You draft him. You're on my team. I mean, unless your dad's Archie Manning, you're stuck with the team that drafts you.
Good point.
So,
Well, that's unfair. Elway did the same thing.
I know, but I didn't watch Elway get drafted.
And
you're not a
So
Broncos
Elway
fan.
was the first. Let's not all
Elway
Eli.
was the first, but let's be honest, I think Eli was the most public.
Well, that's because the NFL just had more attention in 2004 than when Elway did it. Hence why I didn't watch Elway do it. I didn't watch the draft when Elway got drafted.
Was any of us even alive when he was drafted?
Probably not.
Yeah.
When did you
Either
get
that
drafted?
or I was a baby.
83.
Yeah,
So I was a baby then. I was a baby.
I was not alive.
I'm pretty sure he was in that draft class with Marino. And
Yeah.
and that means I was like 3 months old, actually. Yeah.
So,
Okay.
but I mean, I look at this and he's got a lot of the pieces that he would like to have already. The defense is actually pretty good. They just they put their offensive line coach as a defensive coordinator. I really think that was their biggest issue more than anything else. I don't think it's a lack of talent.
Mm-hmm.
But
It will be interesting to see who they bring in as a defensive coordinator with them, because it does seem like, and again, you guys would know a little better, it seems like he's more of an offensive-minded head coach than defense currently. So they would need to bring in a decent defensive coordinator, I think, to at least help him out first time.
well,
Yeah,
Eric,
it all just depends on how his up-tempo offense runs, and if he can even run that style of up-tempo offense in the NFL. Some teams have implemented certain things to the aspect of his already, but it's not exactly the same. So it's just, can he change enough of his offense to make it a viable NFL offense?
do you think he can? I know you don't want to
Listen,
speculate.
He's got talent. He's got nothing but talent in receivers. He's got a good tight end in Brent Selleck. He's got LaShawn McCoy, also this other kid, Pierce, or whatever his name was.
Bryce Brown.
Bryce
Brown,
Brown.
or that's it.
Pierce was the running back on
from
Baltimore.
Yeah.
Bryce Brown. He's got two real quarterback options. Just depends on which way he wants to go, whether he wants a running style quarterback, which he had in Oregon.
Can I ask you if you do you truly believe that, though, that they have two serviceable quarterbacks?
Listen, Michael Vick's going to start somewhere.
But no, I'm saying to you,
And
to
Nick
you,
Foles, Nick Foles, they drafted him last year, so I don't think they want to give up on him just yet. It really depends. I think Chip Kelly's going to have to come in and evaluate which way he wants to go, but I think he goes one of those two directions. I don't think that he gets rid of Vic and sits Foles on the bench and they go out and sign a quarterback.
Or go
I
out
don't
and
see
draft
that.
anybody.
I don't see that happening.
And I agree with that. I think it'll either be Vic or Foles next year. But I think the one thing, I mean, you guys were talking about the high-powered offense. I think the difference between college and the pros is a lot of times offense can wipe out, or at least make up for, maybe an inadequate defense. A lot of times you see the blowout games. You don't always have to have the best defense. Sometimes you can score a lot to overcompensate. Is that fair?
That's fair, and we've also watched the best defenses get schooled at certain points this year.
I mean, in the pros, if you have a weak defense, that's going to be exposed one way or another. You're not going to be able to hide that because teams can score just as many points as the Eagles can. So I think that's going to be the one difference between college and the pros for him.
Fair enough. I mean, I don't know. Look, the fact that he only has the 4 years at Oregon, and then when you go beyond that, when it comes down to his coaching tree, there's really not much to show. I don't know what my expectations are of him. I don't think this Eagle team is much better next year than they were this year. But at the same time, could be completely wrong. I'm completely wrong. He could have the offense high flying. They could be 12-4 for all, or 4-12 all over again. They have a lot of young talent on the defense, especially the defensive line. Their linebacking core is young and showed some potential at times. But it really does go back to their offensive line, which they could definitely get a player in this year's draft. I think there's 2 or 3 top-tier tackles that are coming out in this year's draft, or starting worthy. Maybe not left tackles, but if you start Vic, you actually need a right tackle anyway. So, I mean, look, this is a situation where one part of me is I like the hire, and me and Eric talked about this yesterday, that all the coaching hirings that's gone on so far this year have just sort of been very confused.
Well,